handle the truth.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's December 31st. It's the end of the year. It's the end of the month, and it's New Year's. So let's talk about the markets today. Are we going to see a little pump? Right now, markets are getting a pretty decent sell-off. We did start off with a little bit of a rally at right before market open, but market open came out and just said, nah, fam. We do have some data that came in today on the economic calendar. That would be your weekly jobs numbers, but we've got some other info that says, hey, those jobs may not be as strong as they look. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about silver today. China restricting silver exports. So we're going to talk about that. And what else do we have? We got the Fed minutes breakdown. Going to have that. And lastly, we're going to talk about Bitcoin in 2026. And if we have time, and I'm going to make sure that we have time today, we're going to talk about the number one lesson from a guy who's traveled all over. I got to find this here. I got to pull it up here. He's been walking around the world for 27 years. It's his number one lesson that he learned about happiness. So we'll talk about that. What is it? What is the thing that he learned? Can you apply it to your everyday life? I thought it was a pretty interesting article. We're not all crypto here all the time. We're, a little bit of everything. And so we're going to talk about a little bit of everything today. You guys know what time it is. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. It's here. Happy New Year's here. And shout out to Alexandra G. She dropped a $50 super chat. So much love to Alexandra G. You never, ever have to do that. You do so much for the channel. But as you guys know, she's the CEO of Piper Academy. So she really just gave no, I'm just joking. I appreciate you, Alexandra G, but you never, ever have to do that. So let's get it, guys. Get your notebooks out. Classes in session. Let's go. There it is. Boom. Shakalaka. Can I get that sound effect?
Boom shakalaka!
There we go. All right. Brought to you by Chart Prime. As always, guys, thank you to Chart Prime for an amazing 2025 year. Working them charts with the indicators that work amazingly. So shout out to them for their amazing indicators and for sponsoring the channel. Much love. And now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and bring up the chat cam so you guys can see this amazing $50 super chat here brought to you by Alexandra G. Where's it at? There it is, right there. She said, Happy New Year. Much love. Much love to you, too. Here, I'll give you the little heart emojis. There you go. Those are just for Alexandra G. If you guys want to grab one of those on the way out, go ahead. Appreciate that. Alexandra G is in the house, obviously. $50 worth over here. $1 million worth over here. $50 super chat. We also got Robert Mulligan in here with us today. Blackie Chan, BC Port Corp, came out and did a live stream this morning. So good morning, crypto. If you haven't watched it this morning, go check it out. It's in there. Also, the Otter Gang, sending over here, getting some people there from Keen Bean in the house. Eric Wallen. Hey, by the way, yesterday I talked about some of the members, how they're getting ready to hit the 24-month mark and their graduation cap will turn gold. So Alexandra G on that list. Alex O Crypto is on that list. Crypto Billy is on that list. Eric Wallen. I just saw that this morning. Also on that list. So Eric Wallen getting ready to get that gold cap also, man. Long term. You guys actually have been members longer on the channel than I have, which is odd. Because I had a break in service, we'll call it. I had to switch a credit card. I had some issues and didn't realize that it was on that card, and then I had to restart it up. So you guys have been longer. You guys have been members longer than I have. So shout out to you guys. Mab the Great in here with us. Also, Eric Wallen. Appreciate you, man. Is that Scar? Just Skull saying good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Harp's in here. Who else? Anything for clicks? The Dump Team. The Dump Team is strong. It's me, FD White. Who else is on that team? I don't remember. On the Dump Team. But anything for clicks. Appreciate you being here, man. Philip Collin, appreciate you. JR, one of our amazing traders in our Discord, crushing it over there. Reggie Classics, D Gentleman. He said, Hola, Santa Piper. Is that what it said? Santa Piper? It just jumped on me. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to everybody that's here. I appreciate you guys all. And the Otter Gang rolling in here, the OG. So let's go ahead and jump into the chart. David B. David Brumbelow, the man, the myth, the legend, in here with us also. Appreciate everybody, man. You guys are awesome. Lunar Beaches Crypto. We can't forget him. He will get grumpy, and we can't have that. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Bitcoin chart. Take a look at that, what's going on with it. And then we'll get into some news. All the news is fit to be news. Still sideways. You guys remember yesterday we talked about the options between 87 and 89,000, blah, 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 that whole thing. Yeah, we're just stuck in that range. Matter of fact, we have our top side VWAP here triggered at 94,640.66, and that is this purple line running down through here. We almost hit it yesterday, but what I want to point out is that 50% median, the extension of that is running down here, and that's actually what we're getting rejected off of yesterday and today. So downside move, maybe not going to get that New Year's Eve, but hey, we got a long day. Long day. It's only 9 a.m. We've got my time. It's 9 a.m. my time. We got quite a few hours, man. We got quite a few hours for this thing to turn around. I am watching for a bounce down around $87,000 again. Of course, we do have our lower VWAP sitting here at about 87,000 even, and then we have the quantum reactor, which still green. And I told you guys, when this thing pops above and it's not grayed out like it was here, this means, hey, we're likely going to return back down, right? Grayed out, right? Grayed out. It's been green for a hot minute here. And so we could see a little bit of hope there that range about 87.8 to 87.5 also holds. We do have a blue, which is a bullish. This would be green if I had it set to the typical colors. But we do have a bullish ribbon here. True sevens coming up, but money flow is coming down while volume's coming up. So we've got some fights going on there between volume and actual money coming in. Looking at the higher time frame, let's put this on the daily and just see how the daily's looking here. On the daily, still on that sideways bear flag pattern going on there. We are pushing on a blue ribbon here, a bullish ribbon here on the MVP oscillator. Histogram still building up, getting higher histogram levels with the bullish signal there. And we are coming up from a bounce at the 30% on the RSI prime. So daily looking pretty good. That's why I said there might be a chance today that we do get a little bit of a rally going on. But I do want to point something out here. You guys see when we're below here on this quantum reactor on the bottom. Let me just go back here. Yeah, see here how it was grayed, and then we pumped up, and then it turned red, and we went down on the daily. Look here what's going on now. We started to turn red. So there is a chance that we do get a little pump here, and then it pulls back, cleans out this liquidity, and heads to the downside on the daily. But overall, right now, things aren't looking too bad on the oscillators. Is this a red flag for us, though? That's the big question, right? So yeah, that's what I got on that for right now. We'll come back and look at the charts in a bit, but let's go ahead and jump into the news. Let me get this all set up for you, and let's go news. Let's go talk news. Let's talk the news. There we go. Let's go over and check out the into the Cryptoverse metrics first right here. Looking at the total crypto market cap sitting at $2.987 trillion. Trend on this at 4.9 trillion. We're about 39.15% undervalued right now from that red trend line there. Looking at the current wristband, sitting at 41.3% wristband. Of course, when we've been in this level before, we have come and made lower lows, but this has been bounce level for this current cycle. We go back and look historically, though, we can go into that range. Here's back in 2020. We can go to that range and just keep going down, right? We hit it here, which this is that summer of 2021, and then we bounced up. But here we kept coming down, and we actually went into wristband 3s, wristband 2s, ultimately hitting down into like wristband 1s. And that continued on for a long time too, to the downside motion there until November 2022. With the top side being November 2021. Ironic how that works. Look here, back December 2017, bottom December 2018, 1 year later. Guys, if this was the top in October, I'm actually watching for October 2026 to be the bottom. So keep all of that in mind. Let's go check out what we have here on Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance right now sitting at 59 0.08% with stable coins included. When you take away those stable coins, we're looking at 65.57% right now, dominance on Bitcoin over the other alts. Looking at the 24-hour window here of traders, in the past 24 hours, 83,715 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $119.4 million. Pretty low number there, in all honesty, of liquidation amount. Largest single liquidation order happened on Hyperliquid. It was a Bitcoin trade for $7.33 million. How are we looking on X marks the spot today? Looking at the fear and greed index for December 31st, we're in 21. Extreme fear still. This has been a lot of days in extreme fear, man. In the world of crypto, we don't typically see this happen too often. So, continuing that trend there. I'll come back to this jobs numbers, and I'll come back to the CME. Yeah, we'll come back to all of this after we go through some other stuff. But yeah, this is relevant to what we're going to be going over here in a second. Right now, Dow Jones currently down about 0.25%, 0.27, S&P about 0.23, and NASDAQ 0.24. And NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones all down about 0.25% right now. The Russell 2K holding up better than everything else, only down about 0.1%. The volatility index is up 3%, but staying below that 17, sitting at 14.27. How are we looking on the bonds? On the way back up. Look at that. We get rate cuts and the bonds don't drop. The 10-year yield still sitting at 4.14%, up about 0.012 points today, meaning that your mortgages and your auto loans and all those good things not coming down anytime soon. Let's get a drink of coffee in here. Looking at the chat here. LBC knows. LBC knows a lot, man. Like buttons, like the fear and greed. Yes. There you go. Always in trouble. JR. Oh no, am I in trouble? Just reading through the messages here. Seeing if making sure I didn't miss anything. I'm all by myself today, so OC's not over here checking everything. All of the emojis. By the way, we only need like 6 more members in order to get a 15th emoji. I don't know what it's going to be, but I need to get another emoji in there for sure. Looking here at gold and your precious metals today. Gold down $4,353, down about 0.75%. Silver had a good rally yesterday. We're going to look at this on the chart too, because we're back down in my range box that I told you guys to watch for a bounce. We got the bounce, didn't go much over $75 again, and then pulled back in again. So, okay, yeah. Just reading what you guys are saying there. Silver down 6.52% today, sitting at $72.82. Copper down 1.88. Platinum is down a whopping 7.5%. Also, palladium down 3.5. All of the precious metals washing out on the year's end. Crypto bubbles today in the red on the daily, in the red on the hourly. Again, Bitcoin was green this morning. Now it's getting a pullback down 0.3% there. Ethereum flat, Tether flat. We like to see that. That's good. BNB up about 0.4%. And what else? Solana's up 0.6. On the hourly, though, pulling away all of those gains on the dailies for everything. Leo token, native token on the Leo decentralized exchange. So it's doing pretty good. People are pumping into that and getting out of some stuff, it looks like. Chainlink moved up 1 spot to number 12. Look at that. But still far off from 800 or 40 or whatever the latest crazy one is. Whatever the latest crazy prediction on Chainlink prices. It's only sitting at 1240, down about 0.5%, but moving up 1 spot to number 12. Zcash down 5.7% today. Monero up 0.1% there, sitting at number 15. Stellar Lumen's down 3.6. Rounding out top 20, Canton Network. By the way, we are still in debate over Canton Network. It looks like this is the actual token for Canton Enterprises. However, it is a burn and mint mechanism built into that blockchain, meaning it's supposed to stay at a stable pricing so that projections of cost for the people using the enterprise stay pretty predictable, right? It's not supposed to be a speculative price token. It's supposed to be based on the usage of it on the network and then either burn off or mint to maintain the price. Guess what? That mechanism is broken. And so it does look like this might be the actual token for Canton Enterprise, but that token is not designed to make any gains. So if that's the case, I would be careful because the mechanism that's supposed to maintain its price can send this thing, can kick into gear at any time, and this thing can flush back down pretty hard. Just wanted to put that out there. Eric Wallen and I, we're still digging on this. Blackie Chan said, just buy the Canton stock. That's probably your safest bet, man. Absolutely, BC. I agree. Salmon jerky. You guys are still talking. Shanghai was trading silver at $90 yesterday. Wall Street's still suppressing it. It's actually some other stuff, Blackie. It's not just that. I do agree with that, but there's some other stuff going too. With it has to do with, again, the paper trading side. CME futures. Ticker, come back. There we go. So yeah, Canton Network does look like it's the right token for Canton Enterprises, up 6.6% on the daily, moving up 2 spots, and now in the top 20 of our tokens here on Crypto Bubbles. So we'll continue to dig around on that. If it takes into 2026, we're going to figure out what the hell is going on with that token and why is it not staying with the mechanism. Gold and silver prices fall. This is one of the reasons right here on silver, man. After CME raises precious metals margins again, gold and silver prices fell on Wednesday after exchange operator CME Group, again, this, if you guys don't know, that's the futures people, hiked the margins on precious metal futures. The move comes as investors book profits after a historic annual rally. CME Group said in a statement on Tuesday that the decision was made as per the normal review of market volatility to ensure adequate collateral coverage, aka manipulation. Gold and silver prices lost ground on Wednesday. Investors booked profits after a historic annual rally. Spot gold prices fell about 0.8% to $4,300. Currently, gold right now sitting at, let me look, 43.32, so not far off from where that was on the spot gold price at that time of this article. The yellow metal notched a 1-week low in the previous session. Spot silver prices, meanwhile, tumbled 6.2% to $71.77 per ounce, pairing gains after climbing above $80. Actually hit $83 for the first time at the start of the week. Gold is up more than 64% year to date, on track for its best annual performance since 1979, and the third straight positive year for it. Silver has far outpaced gold in 2025. The metal, which has endured wild price swings in recent days, is on course for annual gains of nearly 150%. Like gold, this would be the best, silver's best yearly performance since 1979. Silver's price boom has stemmed from a mix of low supply and high demand from India, as well as industrial needs and tariffs. And now we got some other stuff going on with it because the CME Group saying, hey, we're going to, as per the normal review, I'm glad that they had to quote that, market volatility, we need to ensure that we have adequate collateral coverage. This notice means traders will need to put up more cash on their bets to ensure against the prospect of default when they take delivery of the contract due to the volatility, right? If it flushes out, they don't want people not being able to pay up what they owe. So it's going to cost more for futures contracts, which is kind of suppressing the price also right now. And then on top of it, we have this. China is restricting silver exports, echoing the rare earth playbook. China set to tighten controls on silver from Thursday. This starts tomorrow, guys, January 1st, which actually starts today here in the U.S. They are going to be starting that tonight, restricting silver on exporting out of China. Tesla CEO Elon Musk criticized the move over the weekend on his social media platform, responding to a post about the upcoming restrictions. This is not good. Silver is needed in many industrial processes, but the rules are not new. China's Commerce Ministry first announced the new measures in October to strengthen oversight on rare metals on the same day that U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping met in South Korea. At the time, Beijing agreed to a 1-year pause on certain rare earth exports control while the U.S. rolled back tariffs. Earlier this month, though, China released a list of 44 companies approved to export silver under this new measure in 2026 and 2027. The new rules in 2026 also restrict export on tungsten and antimony and Anti-money? I don't know. Antimony, I'm pretty sure what it is. Materials dominated by China's supply chain and widely used in defense advanced technology. So a couple of factors there messing with that. CME Group, again, doing their lovely precious metals margin increase, and then China restricting the exports of silver. And that's why we're seeing some hits on silver. We'll look at that silver chart we'll look at it right after this. Oh yeah, look great. This thanks. Initial jobless claims this morning came in. We were with after a revision at 215. It was previously 214,000. What this is weekly jobless claims. It's how many people are filing for unemployment each week, right? And so let me check my feed here. Yep, we're good. We were at 214,000 people last week, and then it got upgraded to 215,000, meaning 215,000 people went in and filed for unemployment last week, and just that week. This week was expected to be 220, 222, higher than what it was last week. What did we get? 199,000 came in lower than expected on the weekly jobless claims. However, pause for effect. Kabisi letter says alternative data points to further weakness in the job market. U.S. weekly job listings fell 11.1% year over year in 2025 to 2.7 million. It's the lowest since December 2020. What was going on then? Some really bad stuff for the job market. We're as low. That was the lowest we've been compared to now. It's back at the pandemic, a global pandemic. So LinkUp collects job listings directly from company career websites worldwide, excluding job boards, duplicates, expired postings, and sponsors. So they filter out a bunch of the crap, right? Providing a cleaner view of actual hiring demand. This comes as a total and new job openings declined in most states. The weakness was observed across both the manufacturing and services sector, as well as across blue and white collar jobs in most industries and occupations. Nobody was safe from this. As a result, drink some coffee. As a result, total job listings ended the year below the 2019 pre-pandemic levels. Overall, this signals further deterioration ahead of the BLS job openings data scheduled for Wednesday next week. So next week, we're going to be getting that. Let's go look at that. The labor market continuing to lose momentum. Let's look at next week and see what they're saying. Wednesday, JOLTS job openings, 7.67 million. Right now, markets are cooking in a 7.6 million. If Kabisi letter here is correct about this, then this will likely be lower than 7.6 million, meaning it is not cooked in. And we could actually start off next Wednesday on January 7th with the markets going, oh crap, we are continuing to see weakness. That will be a celebratory moment for those thinking that we may not get a job or rate cut going on, a rate cut, I should say, because we are looking right now at like, I think it was 80% chance that we get it. No, I tend to not talk too much of Blackie Chan. He said, Piper, did you talk about Iran this week yet? I typically wait until I see more stuff play out on all that, man. What's going on with all that data before I start talking about it. So, no, I have not. My head is getting cut off there. There we go. And then I'll bring myself up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. My head was getting cut off. I don't know what was going on there. There we go. No, I wait to get more info, man. I have not talked about Iran yet. Maybe next week. So, Fed minutes, though, those came out yesterday. Let's talk about what that means, because we just talked about the rate cuts. We talked about, hey, these JOLTS job openings next week. What does this mean? So it's rate cuts and rate hikes and rate pauses all has to do with two factors: inflation, job numbers. Labor weakness, labor strength. That's it. That's what everything is based on. Right now, we're cutting rates because of weakness in jobs. They're afraid that the economy is going to collapse. No jobs, no money coming in. The economy doesn't grow because no one has money to spend, and then so on and so forth. Inflation means things get more expensive. People can't buy as much, and so they have a slowdown in the economy. Both are horrible for the economy, all right? If that is the case, let's take a look at the Fed minutes and talk about what they were looking at in detail on their last FOMC meeting. And key points: most participants judged that further downward adjustments to the target range for the Fed funds rate, meaning the target for rate cuts, would likely be appropriate if inflation declined over time as expected. With that, though, came misgivings over how aggressive the FOMC should be about rate cuts in the future, and with respect to the extent and timing of additional adjustments. Right now, it's one rate cut in 2026, one rate cut in 2027, and nothing's scheduled for 2028 right now. But what did the actual minutes say? Ultimately, the Fed opened the market. So officials expressed a variety of opinions during the December 9th and 10th meeting, according to the summary, provided a day ahead of the customary release due to the New Year's holiday. Ultimately, the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, approved a quarter percentage point cut by a 9-3 vote, the most dissents that they've had since 2019, meaning more people voted against a rate cut than we've seen since 2019, as officials debated the need to support the labor market against concerns about inflation. So they're really concerned about inflation right now. Obviously, they should be. They keep saying it's coming down. We've even heard our fearless leader say inflation is getting fixed and things are getting cheaper. No, it's not. It's very expensive. I just went grocery shopping yesterday. Most participants judge that further downside adjustments to the target range for the Fed funds rate would likely be appropriate if inflation declined over time as expected. With that, though, came misgivings on how aggressive they should be. Officials expect confidence that the economy would continue to expand around a moderate pace. Sure. While they saw downside risk to employment and upside risk to inflation. So, if that's what they're seeing, downside risk to employment and upside risk to inflation, next week's job numbers will be very important, because that means that job numbers will likely shift into a higher risk level for them, and that will cause them to have to cut rates because of emergency purposes, not because things look healthy. I got news for you. When things are healthy, economy wise, job wise, consumer wise, we don't cut rates. There's no reason to cut rates. They don't want to make money cheap for people. They want to keep a healthy economy, and we don't cut rates unless something's wrong. Okay, just like we don't typically raise rates unless something's wrong. So, right now, the jobs numbers coming out next week could cause them to go, we need to cut rates again. And we could see a change to the FOMC rate cut in January. Won't be one in February. The next one will be in March. So found some Christmas ham, mozzarella, ham sub bun, and got some coffee. There you go, JR. Good job. Yes, the things you need to inflate things you don't need. Do not inflate. Funny world. It is funny, Baru. You are absolutely correct. It's hard to wrap your brain around a lot of this stuff. That's why I try to break this down for you guys as easily as I can. I'm just looking through the chat here. Lots of restaurant chains are quietly closing stores too. Bankruptcies at a 15-year high. Yeah, I saw that too. Noodles and Dumplings, Starbucks, Denny's, like a bunch of them, like major chains, all shutting down businesses all across the U.S. I saw that article yesterday. Printer is the only way out. What debt? There's no debt. We don't actually need to print money. Just so you guys know, there's not actually a money printer just printing out new money. It's all exporting. It's all our export, our number one export. And does anybody know what the United States number one export is to the world? Let's put it in there. Put it in the chat. I want to see what you guys think. What is the number one export? What is the number one export in the United States? Anybody know? My groceries are down. Wow, my groceries are down across the board. Well, I mean, yeah, they're cheaper than what they were 6 months ago, but they're not cheap by any means. It was very expensive. Little delay here, so you guys are getting in debt. Blackie Chan, first one. Bam, there it is. There we go. Air horn.
Boom shakalaka.
You get that. That's for you. Debt. Our number one export is debt. So that's how we print money. We sell treasury bonds, aka US debt, to other countries because our treasury bonds are high liquidity assets, right? So IMF recognizes it actually higher than gold. Our treasury bonds are ranked higher than gold by the IMF. Crazy right now. So it's a high liquidity asset and high quality liquid asset, HQLA, I think it is. And so, yeah, we send out our treasury bonds. That is them buying our debt. That's our number one export to the world. And then that's what prints money. So just so you guys know, that's how that all works. So Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's how we print money. When you hear people turning on the printer, it's because we're making a bunch of treasury bonds to go out to the world, then buy our debt, and then that keeps our dollar afloat. So that's an even crazier concept to the world. So let's go ahead and finish off this though. So yeah, Fed minutes, guys, could see they were very split. Did not really want to do a rate cut in December. They may actually have a more than one rate cut now in 2026 because of the job numbers coming out next week. Let's talk about Bitcoin and its end of year performance. Right now, mineral fuels, you smoking? No, we import all of that from other places. Yeah, so December right now down 2.16% for the month. Quarterly returns down 22.43% for the quarter. Let's go ahead and jump over to the chart, bring up the annual on here, and let's see how this is looking. Bitcoin continuing down to that range, guys. We are hitting that quantum reactor we talked about earlier. Let's go and look at this 12-month and just see how it's looking here. There's your 12-month candle. I'm going to get this in here. Let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. 12-month candle. And maybe put it on here. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. So there's our 12-month candle. But guys, we have a nice doji for our 12-month candle. Our 1-year candle is a doji candle right now. And that means indecision, if you guys don't know. I actually think that this is poised to go back down and clean out this wick. That which gets wicked gets candlesticked a lot. So I am watching for that to come back down to this level, which would be 74,789 on the year. We'll call it 75 and make it nice and clean. But that is what I'm watching there for a pullback on the annual. We are looking like we are going to close this. How much would we need to pump today in order to not have a red year? We would need a 6.36% pump today, a 5,000. So it would need to be 93,413. Is that right? Let me look at the closing. Here is closing 93,466. If we can get to 93,466, we will not have a red year, which is, not, this is not normal. We normally have 3 bullish and then a red. We actually have 2 bullish and then an indecision candle here. So interesting developments there on the yearly candle. So yeah, that's not that far off though, guys. A $93,466 move would be a pretty simple thing for Bitcoin to do, but not with a 4-hour candle like this. We would need to see that pumping up. And of course, we do have a level sitting here right above us, that VWAP coming in at 90,247. 93,000, to be fair, our resistance level of rejection back here, all in the golden pocket. 93,466 would be right in the middle of the golden pocket for that rejection level. This being pulled off of, here, I'll show you where it's pulled from. There we go. Oh, get out of here, sir. Get. Let's go back and show you where this is being pulled from. This is a fib level from the bounce that we had back in April of 2025 to the top. So would be interesting to see if we can get back into that golden pocket, $93,000 there. What else do we have today? There were some other things that I wanted to point out on X marks the spot. It wasn't just about that those jobs. CME, yeah, we talked about that. CME raised the silver levels. Yep, we got that. Last 4 days, volatility, which is why the CME did that. We talked about that. That's silver. We'll look at that silver chart in just a second. Oh, hey, check it out. If you're a content creator, or not, may just be interested to know this. Elon Musk told X to increase creator payouts to compete with YouTube. I am simulcasting right now over on X. We got 78 people watching us on YouTube, 22 people right now watching us over on X. So if you're over there on X, appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, they're looking to try to create more creator payouts. Of course, it's really hard to get monetized over there, but yeah. Hey, we were talking about prices on stuff. Yeah, let's talk about that. Prices of basic necessities have seen historic surges in the U.S. Since November 2019, motor vehicle insurance is up by 56.1%, largest increase of any major consumer category. So your auto insurance has gone stupid high. Utility gas services and motor vehicle maintenance has gone up by 48.8%, followed by a 46.1% in coffee prices. Electricity prices alone had jumped 40.4% in the same period. How's that green energy working out? I'm just wondering. Meanwhile, meats, poultry, and fish prices have climbed 38.1%. Food away from home is up 34.8%. All of these categories have far outpaced a 26% increase in headline CPI inflation. Only asset owners are protected from the compounding inflation. And if you guys don't know what compounding is, when you have compounding interest earnings or compounding pay increases, like COLA, cost of living allowance, and stuff like that, that thing adds up very quickly. And it starts to hit levels that you're like, oh my God, look at this increase. It's just out of nowhere. So, in the when you look at inflation compounding, same concept. Very quickly, prices jump, and you're like, "Oh my God, look at how expensive this got so quickly." That's what we've seen since 2019. All items 26% average. Alcohol, beverages away from home down 25.9%. While people are actually drinking less now, Gen Z, I read an article on that. They're not really even drinking alcohol much. Personal care products are down, are up 24.9%. All items minus food and energy 24.7% since 2019. That is just absolutely insane. So yeah, things might have gotten a little cheaper from last year, but in the grand scheme of things, they are stupid expensive. Let's just talk about this. Look, motor vehicle insurance up 56.1%. What is the purpose of motor vehicle insurance? To replace the value of your car. Well, new cars and trucks are only up 22.6%. So if new cars and trucks went up 22.6%, why in the hell is motor vehicle insurance up 56%, 30% higher than the price of new cars? Because of greed, absolute greed, or people driving uninsured because they don't have the job they used to have and they're losing their income source to pay for high insurance. And now they're just priced out of coverage in the legalities of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but holy balls in the chat for that one. 56% increase on motor insurance versus a 22.6% increase on new cars and trucks. So I think that was all I had on X marks the spot. I just wanted to go over those things. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Cool. What else do we have here that I wanted to talk about today? Silver. Let's go look at silver. We wanted to do that, and then we'll go and take a look at this article. I think it's a pretty good article. So yeah, silver here, guys, on the 4 hour. This is the box I called out when we were coming down. I said, watch for a bounce here. We just got another bounce there, but we made a relief rally and a lower high. And now it looks like we might be making another relief rally right on that 1.5 trend-based fib extension there. Perfect rejection on that. If we don't hold this green box, guys, look at us coming down to about $66 on silver. We are making lower highs right now, though. Wedging with the flat bottom there. Good luck. Good luck. Well, I think it's going to end up going higher just because of the pressure being put on from China's restriction on exporting it. Supply and demand 101 there for that one. So let's go talk about this article, and then I think we'll wrap it up for the day. This is a pretty good article, though, guys, and there's a lesson here. So this guy, he walked around the world for the past 27 years. Here's the number one lesson that he's learned about happiness. There's the guy. Carl Bushby was 29 years old when he left his home in Hull, England, and took off for the adventure of a lifetime. He had $500 in his pocket and some survival gear. He went on a mission that no one else in history had ever completed, walking an unbroken path around the world. Bushby journey called the Goliath Expedition began in 1998 in Punta Arenas, Chile, a city near the southern tip of South America. It's brought him across the continents, including the Americas, Asia, and Europe, and ultimately ends with the goal of arriving back in the United Kingdom. The objective was simple: to get home unassisted by any form of transportation. Throughout the journey, he's followed two rules. He can only walk or swim unassisted by any form of transportation, and he cannot return home to England until he arrives entirely on foot. These sounded like two simple rules from the early days, but once those two rules meet the reality of the real world, things can get mighty complicated, especially with visas and difficult governments and regimes and some of the controversial borders that I've had to cross, he said. After walking about 30 kilometers a day, along with some unexpected setbacks, Bushby has now made his way to Europe and expects to complete his journey and return home to England next year. Life as a wanderer, he's always been an adventurer. He used to explore all the time with his brother before returning home for dinner. Growing up in a military family, his father was in the British Army. At some point, I started drawing lines on maps and daydreaming about great distances and distant horizons, and one thing led to another. He was in the army himself, got bored. All he ever saw was Northern Ireland. So he got out. He drew a line from the United Kingdom over Europe, Asia, through Siberia, over the Bering Straits, into North America, and through the bottom of South America. Once I got that on the map, there was kind of no going back. The old hairs on the back of the neck stood up. So in 1998, he left the British Army and began his long journey, took a military flight from the United Kingdom to the Falkland Islands, then a civilian flight to Puerto Arenas, Chile, which is where he started this expedition. That first day you step on the road is a memorable one. You're a long way from home. You burned all the bridges and you told everyone you'd rather die than come home. I want you guys to try to put this into perspective of your crypto and investing journey, okay? Investing journey in general. It doesn't have to be crypto. You made that first purchase and you said, this is my journey, right? And you go, there's going to be some hard times along the way. You know this. Like 2025, you got $500 in your pocket, no support, no idea how it's going to work out, just absolute faith that you can somehow make it work. And you're on that road, and it's about 36,000 miles long, with very little idea what's coming. So, I mean, you're further than a manned mission to Jupiter at that point. And so what he's learned over the 27 years, and I think this is what you guys can take away for 2025. And when you look back and you go, worst bull market ever, or this or that, or this didn't make any money, I lost my ass on this, whatever the case may be, you took the journey. And the most important lesson that you can learn about this for 2025 to take into 2026, this guy had rough times along the way too. He famously crossed the Darien Gap, been detained by Russian authorities, jailed in Panama, nearly froze to death in Alaska, and swam across the Caspian Sea over a 31-day period. On top of all this, he's gone days without food after walking for many miles, relied on strangers for medical help, and ended many nights by himself in a tent pitched on the side of the road. The psychology of hunger is interesting. It's not something that most of us really are used to. And when you have no idea where your next meal will come, you just become obsessed with finding things to eat. You'll see food everywhere. Every shadow, every rock looks like something you can eat, and you'll end up running around chasing hallucinations most of the time. Sound familiar? Looking for that next pump? Despite all the challenges he's overcome, one of the biggest lessons he's discovered through the journey didn't have much to do with physical pain or endurance. Rather, it was about happiness and how it ultimately comes from your relationships. If you would ask me, what was the hardest thing you've done over the last 27 years? That was losing the woman that you fell in love with, hands down. That's the toughest thing you'll deal with. On the other hand, the happiest times was when he was in those relationships, when you're with somebody. He also learned that people are generally very kind across all cultures and regions in the world. Many times throughout his journey, he says he has been taken in, fed, and cared for by strangers for who ask for nothing in return. You don't even speak the same languages. It's just about smiles and nods, and then you're on your way. So the world is a hell of a lot friendlier and nicer than it may appear, especially on the news and media. And if it's anything that you can take out of this article and take off of this new year, is that it's about the relationships we made this year also, guys. And so I appreciate all of you taking this journey with me in 2025. I'm looking forward to 2026 with all of you, and I hope all of you guys have a happy new year. Remember, you might be down on your portfolio, but you are up on friends in this community. Thank you to the alumni. Thank you to the Otter Gang. And for everybody here, happy new year. I'll catch you guys next year. Peace, love, and profits. Army Piper out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?